So the space has changed over time. A while ago, collaborative research, especially where the original proposed study is from the global north, once you received, approval from an ethics committee from the global north, that was already enough to implement a study in, any country in the global south. But that has changed over time. Now, local approval is almost mandatory in almost all the countries. What that means is if you are proposing to partner with or to conduct research in any country in the global south, the first thing that you need to do is, even if you already have approval and clearance from all the regulators in the global north, you still require to submit that in a local accredited research ethics committee. Now, depending on how that particular country operates, you may be required to submit that at the national level, or you may be required to submit that at an institutional level. Either way, depending on that, the ethics review committee then will look at that proposal based on all the elements that I already talked about: scientific validity, social value, risk and benefits, and all the other things that I talked about. But some of the critical elements when it comes to collaborative research, for example, is the benefit to the community. What are the benefits to the community that will be involved? You will remember the issues about parachute research, where researchers from the global north were accused of coming to Africa to collect data, and then they leave, and sometimes the research is no value to the community at all. Now, these are things that have kind of raised red flags. So these days, when a researcher is collaborating with another researcher in the global south, there will be efforts, deliberate efforts, to ask for what is the value of this research to the community or to the subjects that will be involved in this particular research. That is one. The second thing will be capacity building, because at the end of the day, if you are collaborating, you don't want to keep relying solely on partners from the global north to conduct this kind of research. So there'll be questions around, are there possibilities or opportunities to, for example, to co-share knowledge, skills, so that at the end of the day, when this research comes to an end, the institution where this research was conducted is better off and more able to conduct this kind of research in future compared to when this kind of study was beginning. So capacity building is really, really important. And then community engagement, where people are also made aware about this kind of research, and there's more push now towards consenting and creating awareness about this kind of studies. So social value, capacity building, and also co-creation and co-sharing is important. Where gone are those days where everything is conceptualized in the global north and then directly implemented without consultation. So people like to be brought on board during the conceptualization of this kind of studies, where you come down, you sit down with your partners, you discuss these are the plans, and they have a voice in terms of proposing certain changes. So for example, things that may not be very appropriate for the society or the community that will be involved, these are issues that can be thrashed out or cleared right at the planning stage before implementation. So that is what I call co-creation and so co-creation and co-planning, so that the partners in the global south feel they're part and parcel of the projects and not just recipients where you come collect data, then off you go, and then they're like, okay, so who was this?